the new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
to us, black excellence,
that had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch.
Oh,
like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
I ain't never made a call to Diddy. I got Diddy's number. Just hit him up. Yo, Diddy, what up? Never.
Jay goes, and nobody's afraid of 50 Cent. His safe presentation with the glasses represent intelligence. Right? A nerd maybe. Why would you have to make that clear when no one's ever asked me if I'm afraid of Jay-Z? His largest selling records sold 430-something copies. My largest selling records, plural, 2 of them sold 5 million. In a word or a sentence, Jay-Z, good business. What just music like got something to put through that Bentley? A word or a sentence. Eminem, the best. Lloyd Beggs, cool. Tony, yo, I smoke boy loyalty. Music 50 Cent, the rapper still got it. Man, laughter, 50 Cent, the television music producer. Jess Snorts, get going. Future O talent. Nas, the best. Jay-Z, good business. They done took down Puff. They done laughter. Took down all these other powerful black people. Jay-Z's like the lone music standing track seat on them. Jay is them people. But I know they went up to the feds one day and they took some paperwork up there to him. Let's be very clear. This is the email that DJ Vlad sent me. His producer sent me asking me to appear on his podcast on YouTube Music just after the Cassie video was released on my birthday. But like, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet like while the Buffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. You know. So I hope it works out, cause with his family the things that go on internally is that those accusations are crazy. That was 50 Cent. No one's scared of 50 Cent. I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent. I think it was kind of taken out of content a little bit. But what do you think about I don't think it was taken out of context? No, I think the guy who was talking to him made him feel like a punk. You see what I'm saying? So, he had to say, yo, nobody's scared of 50. Let's get this clear. Nobody is scared of 50, you know, but I'm not the issue. Him making you feel like a punk is the issue. At the end of the day, I look at it and people don't assess themselves. Music, even really intelligent people. Jay is a smart guy. You know what I'm saying? And he'll music analyze other people and other things that they're doing, and not actually look at what's happening to him and his transition and difference. Music. Jay, your music saved my life. Man, Sagittarius Tup, thank you so much Jesus for years. The world viewed Jay-Z and Diddy as untouchable titans, 2 forces dominating hip-hop, bound by success, strategy, and influence. But signals from 50 Cent hint that their alliance may have cracked the moment. Self-preservation outweighed loyalty. Music. This story isn't really about music. It's about power, leverage, and what happens when control begins to slip. As pressure mounted on Diddy, the industry's reaction was eerily quiet. No public defenses, no loud support, just calculated silence. According to close observers, that silence concealed behind-scenes maneuvers where survival came first and allegiances. Music shifted swiftly. In this telling, Jay-Z stands at a pivotal crossroads with long-standing whispers suggesting he kept his distance, gathered leverage, and secured his position as the storm approached. They done took down Puff, they done took down all these other powerful black people. Jay-Z's like the lone standing, we do the track wrestling on them. Jay is them people. If you do the history on most of the people that got in trouble in the industry, big trouble, who they went to for help. Music, that's true. When Lil Wayne was in trouble, who he'd go to. When Meek Mills was in trouble, who he'd go to. Meek Mills said it himself. Music. Desiree helped me. You understand? So, how could he be up next? You know what I'm saying? He is them people. They go to him when they got problems. And what they gonna say if he don't come up in nothing? What they gonna say? Told you he ain't got nothing to do with that. They still going to cover it up anyway. But I don't think they coming after him at all. I don't think they got, like I said, I think he is them. He has a relationship with them. You're talking about a woman that had a relationship with the feds for 20 years. For months, Music 50 Cent has been hinting that real power players were sitting on hard evidence. Not rumors, not headlines, but concrete material. Then suddenly, he amassed enough to fuel an entire Netflix project while everyone else came up empty. That immediately raised a sharp question. Where did it all come from? Industry insiders suggest Jay-Z recognized just how explosive that material could be and understood the risk it posed early on, rather than exposing himself to the fallout. He's rumored to have taken a careful step back, prioritizing separation, reputation management, and strategic positioning. In this telling, survival wasn't about loyalty. It was about foresight, control, and making the moves that kept him standing when the pressure reached its peak. Music, you working for them. You got a agent. You're your agent that's in charge of you. You think she don't have no relationships with over the years with all these agents that became retired and connected in this and that. And the third, music too. They just know she got power. That's power over there. Music, you know what I'm saying? Who you wouldn't want on your you got them on your side. You know what I'm saying? If something happened with him, it's going to be about a money situation. It ain't going to be nothing that's gonna hurt. You get what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I don't see them going after him. You know what I'm saying? But everything Jaguar be saying do flourish. What really drew attention was the legal angle where certain patterns began to emerge. As more people came forward and the situation escalated, Jay-Z's personal attorney, Alex Music Spiro, was repeatedly spotted handling matters closely connected to Diddy's unfolding case. That consistent music presence didn't go unnoticed, sparking speculation about strategy, preparation, and behind-scenes coordination. Music to many observers, it suggested this wasn't just standard legal representation. It was about anticipating outcomes, managing exposure, and ensuring every move was calculated as the pressure continued to mount. Sean Carter Clear's throat is just as bad as the dead look, and I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it. You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? Music, I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen underscore yet. That Cassie underscore that's nothing. I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me, and he's got it on tape. Music just like Teddy. Music ain't it going to be crazy. It's going to be the women that give them in the end. Critics like Jaguar Wright have long argued that Jay-Z moves before a collapse is ever visible. She says he doesn't wait for structures to burn. He steps away early and lets the fallout happen behind him. The timing of recent events only reinforced that narrative. As Diddy's situation intensified, 50 Cent suddenly emerged, empowered, confident, and backed enough to challenge figures once considered untouchable. That shift led many observers to believe a powerful gate had quietly been opened from above. If Jay-Z knew sensitive material existed and anticipated it would eventually surface, Music stepping back early and letting events unfold may have been the most calculated exit available. Music 50 Cent has never publicly confirmed this theory, but he hasn't dismissed it either, repeatedly hinting that the real fracture didn't come from outside rivals. Music, but from within trusted circles. People who smiled publicly while maneuvering privately. That possibility has left Hollywood uneasy. Because if this was strategic rather than coincidental, it reframes the entire situation as a deliberate power play. When asked why she consistently links Jay-Z to the story instead of framing it as a one-man downfall, Jaguar Wright gave a blunt answer. In her view, their paths were never separate to begin with. These are criminals. Music Diddy is so is Jay-Z. The proof is there. How many people does he have to be around before people see him of who he is? Music, it seemed like these artists are trying to run away from their past. Diddy changed his name multiple times to say that's not me. I'm trying to move beyond Diddy. I'm Love now. It seems like Jay-Z would try to run away from calling music that love and anything that he did love. Brother love. What kind of love? Baby oil love. Music, baby love. Baby love. Explicit love. Hey Music, they never thought that hip-hop would take it this far. Oh man, don't, it is different now. These lyrics are all hitting different right now. All that people talking about fathers. In her view, focusing on one without the other misses the bigger picture. She believes their paths have always been tightly intertwined. They rose together, expanded their influence together, and if everything fell apart, the fallout would be shared. To Jaguar, this isn't about coincidence or mere proximity, but about two dominant figures operating in tandem over time, making calculated decisions side by side and leaving a lasting mark as a result. Her perspective reframes the story as a joint legacy built on shared moves and shared responsibility, where separation is an illusion and accountability in her eyes cannot be pinned on just one name. Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put a Leo on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106 in Park with Mary J. Blige Free, who is a victim of Shan Carter. Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Shan Combs, are sitting there talking ab. Blige, who is a victim of Shan Combs, are sitting there talking ab. They know what happened, and yet they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Music, think of the power of that moment. Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday, talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you was Diddy girl? Corey was Jay-Z girl. Music, why don't you claim your friend? Claudia. Music, so, Jack, wouldn't you say? When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White. That's what I was about to ask. Jay-Z's pregnant mistress who died of an imaginary aneurysm, just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimora, who wrote the book Bling and Die as soon as it made the bestsellers list. Observers noticed another striking detail. Jay-Z and Beyoncé were steadily losing followers, yet neither addressed it. No statement, no clarification, no pushback, only silence, as if nothing had changed. That quiet approach fueled even more speculation because to some critics, it didn't signal calm confidence. Jaguar Wright saw it differently, suggesting the silence wasn't about strength or strategy, but unease. In her view, it wasn't confidence that dictated the quiet. It was the mounting pressure behind the scenes and the weight of scrutiny becoming impossible to ignore. Why does it all come to head now? Why? Why now? Why? Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch. So, who's next? Y'all don't see the lineup. I know, yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next. Who? Jay-Z is setting Diddy screaming up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing different. He lined up behaving, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Music lined up R. Kelly. Music, he wants to be the one. Man, shout out Deha. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story. You need to talk to DeHaven. We need to talk to you. I told you that last year when I put you on the phone. She later explained that the appearance wasn't even planned. It came through her team, and she agreed because she knew Piers Morgan had a reputation for rigorous fact. In her music mind, if her words survived the scrutiny of his producers and legal team, the public would be forced to hear them differently. That confidence proved well-placed because the interview didn't just circulate online. It sparked real reactions. The moment it aired, responses flooded in across media, with some voices scrambling to challenge her credibility yet again. Among them was DJ Vlad, who openly dismissed her claims, reigniting debate and amplifying the tension her interview had already stirred. Why your husband don't want to put his seed inside of you and put in everybody else. Wild in this world. Yo, it's funny. You open up Beyonce's internet, it just gets weird. Beyonce's internet. No, that's what we're calling it. That belongs to the devil. Unless you calling that the devil. She ain't nothing but employee. Oh, a half a witch dumbass underscore so. You know, it's funny that it's crazy you say these things. Nobody want to accept it, but I think she said he went the girl cats. Music, okay. The girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. Music, she was hypnotized. She was music. Beyonce came, and she was in there eating on her, and while she was asleep, you know, snacking on his underscore people, cats, and guess what? They wouldn't give her the restrainer though. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too, which is interesting because she's a brilliant musician and she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked music by my very good friend Terry Lynn Carrington. Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew No's idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls. She pushed the narrative further by noting that months earlier she had warned sensitive recordings were quietly circulating behind the scenes. Warnings that were largely dismissed at the time for lacking proof. Now she argued that dismissal looked premature as legal professionals connected to ongoing cases were reportedly acknowledging the very materials she had flagged. To her supporters, this marked a turning point, not because it confirmed every claim, but because it suggested her warnings weren't imagined. Music, what once sounded like speculation, was suddenly being mirrored in serious legal circles, adding weight, urgency, and renewed tension to a story many had tried to ignore. Never sit with us. No, I know never. He said he would never sit with me. He would never have me on. He never wanted to talk to me. Never would. But I got a receipt. Flag. Why did you reach out to Jag back in June asking for Jack to screaming deal with the show? Why you do that? Laughter Blair, why you playing in our face? Why you lying? Why you lying? Why you lying? And Blair, and your fat wife, who's there? Laughter damn. Let's be very clear. This is the email that DJ Vlad sent me, his producer sent me, asking me to appear on his podcast on YouTube just after the Cassie video was released on my birthday. I saw it, I never responded. Odell responded weeks and weeks later. But then again, Diddy was already in trouble. So you really didn't need to talk to me because you couldn't do much disinformation with me. Music, I guess that's why your friend from the Star Report. Or should I say, the Comet Report, because he crashed out just like a comet. Laughter, I guess that's why he was so upset when I started asking him relevant questions about why he's propping up a liar. At this point in time. Vlad, music, I think it's only fair to say that Carol Johnson, your assistant, music unless you're saying you didn't know, she sent this on your behalf. That, she said, was the moment the balance shifted. False narratives require constant reinforcement to survive. But the truth works differently. It doesn't need defending, only patience and space to emerge. In her view, time became the story's most powerful force, gradually revealing what noise and denial could no longer suppress. I didn't even know Vlad was going to be on. Oh, like I said, it was brilliant. Wow, because everything that he said, denouncing me and then confirming me and then talking about, that all happened a day before the report about the 9-year-old boy was released. And before people started confirming that the video that was being shopped around Music was Bieber and Diddy. See, that's the problem with running your mouth. Vlad, Music, that's the problem. You didn't realize on Monday that every word that you said was going to be invalidated on Tuesday. See, that's what happens when you're a liar. See, I didn't have to worry about what I said on Monday. Music, because I knew what I said on Monday was going to hold up on Wednesday. Music, the truth, needs no support. Just time, music, and room. Names that once seemed untouchable are now quietly being traced back to the same events that people whispered about years ago. And Jossie's name continues to resurface at the center of those connections. That's the other person that was with them. They go up to the feds and all this paperwork, you understand? And I mentioned this before. You understand? Music, they not only talking about the extortion stuff. They talking about how they try and be made to music and to have this, what you call this, promot, this distribution thing. In which I'm finding out they wasn't going to be a part of it until later. But they was in fear, like they was trying to be made to be a part of this whole distribution thing that Suge Knight was trying to build up with Rockefeller, cause it was Dame Dash. It was Irv Gotti. It was J Prince, Musica, and Death Row. You understand what I'm saying? So now everybody want to know who's this and who's that and want to go back and say, yo, how do you know? Music, it came from the horse's mouth. He said he got all the paperwork to prove it. Kirk Brown said it plenty of times, but nobody won't sit down with him. I mean, like, you won't get none of these, these radio stations and all this stuff like that to sit down with him. He said, I got the paperwork. Music, he got files from DFB. I mean, from the D and the ERD, the FBI. All that stuff like that. We've got plenty of paperwork. He told, but Jay-Z, I ain't know about that. So Jay-Z, he said that years ago, man. Music said that years ago. What are you going to do? They going to do whatever. Yo, listen to me. They're the reason why rap in New York went down the drain. They made sure that these young cats didn't come up with platforms and didn't come up with situations like Jay-Z, and let me tell you something. Jay-Z and ER, and it's funny. It's funny. We were talking about how Puff and Jiru was cool, but at one time Puff was trying to trick Ju into going at Jay-Z. That whole weekend that he was with Sarah, the whole weekend they was in that hotel room. That day they was in that hotel room all the way coming back on that G5 jet. He was trying to talk Ooj, are you into going at Jay-Z? But now him and Jay-Z is like frickin' music crazy. That's how quickly alliances shifted. Observers also note Puffy's reach across media and business. Moments when broadcasts remained live instead of cutting away. Sudden conflicts where some powerful figures faced consequences while others seemed untouched. The pattern felt familiar, and when Kanye West openly challenged Puffy and alluded to his deep business connections, the response was swift and intense, as if the system had been waiting for the right trigger to act. Speaking to Kanye West, he made a comment on Drink Chumps and he said that Puffy was the feds. Would you think about him saying that? Well, when he talking about the fans is he could be saying that he's the ear. Puff is the one who goes back and he tells, like he did when Suga, when J Prince, when Music, Irv Gotti. I think it was Irv Gotti could have been a part of that too when they was all trying to get that distribution company together. He went back. He the one went back and told Jimmy I them, and then him and Kirk Burrows took Kirk. Kirk said he didn't know what he was doing. They took paperwork and they took some stuff up to the feds. You understand? Regarding Death Row, Music, I don't know the intricate details of what they took. But I know they went up to the feds one day and they took some paperwork up there, too. That line of thinking, Music, brings everything back to the core claim. The specifics may still be hidden, but the pattern keeps resurfacing. When narratives from years ago begin to align with what's being said today, it stops feeling like speculation and starts to feel like the past finally catching up. And there's another consistent thread. Those who speak out often do so from a place of fear, because the people they're exposing are still the ones capable of causing the most damage. I guess. Pac had got whiff that Jay-Z was in town. Well, he going to do a show, cause Jay-Z he doing a music show. But you got to realize Jay-Z had became an enemy of Pac because I think he had said some or was going to do a song with Big or whatever like that, the whole 9 yards. So Jay is now Pac enemy too. So Chaz Williams, who was over Black Hands was one of the labels who did that Black Gangster had every artist in New York on, and Chaz, who is now getting into the music business, has become a music executive. And he was once a former gangster who was on, American Gangster. Bet, cause they had it down. Had him down for robbing 161 banks. Music, that's what they put in their program and everything. But Chaz was a gangster in New York City that became a music executive. So he gets a phone call, Music, saying that Jay is not going to come out the room. Music, because Tupac read, so he not going to do his show. Can he make some phone calls? You understand? To Music, get Pac off the bull. So, I think he may have talked to Big D, and Big D and Eric B called Suge, and Suge was laughing, saying that wasn't him, cause they tried to make it seem like it was Suge that was doing it, but it was Pac. So I guess. Suge called Pac. Pac let him go ahead and do his show, and everything like that. But Jay was scared to come out of his room. So, that story was really true about Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room. Yeah, come on, man. No? Yeah. He was scared. Probably still is scared. Music, Gene says that once the story began circulating, people quickly tried to downplay it or act as if it never happened, but he hasn't backed off. He also explains why the pressure to suppress everything was so intense at the time. There were serious discussions about building bridges between the East Coast music and West Coast, including talk of forming a new movement that could unite artists from New York and California. If tensions had flared between Tupac and Jay-Z, that entire vision would have collapsed instantly. Music making the incentive to keep things under control enormous. It was going to call a dissension because they was trying to start Death Row East Coast, and that would have been Pac, Eric B. And you know what I'm saying, all the dudes here in New York. Music. So then they going to have groups coming back and forth from Cali to New York. So Music. It was just good business just to chill out with that. But they was trying to chill out the whole thing. They had a big meeting, and Puff wouldn't send a representative or let Uzzip or Chaz represent him in the meeting. Music, yeah. That's a wild story. Yeah? Who told you this story? If you don't mind me asking, I was there. Music, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Man, I didn't know you was there. So, you was there when Jay was scared to come out his hotel room. I had no idea, man. I used to roll with Chaz every day. Bro, Music, and then it came out. And then it came out. Somebody else told the story. But I think it may have been Dame Dash or something like that told the story. A lot of my stories get out, man, but they don't believe when I tell them. They believe it when they hear. Now, when you connect the older stories with what's emerging today, the silence starts to speak volumes. The picture becomes clearer. The same names keep resurfacing. The same patterns keep repeating. And those who spoke out years ago are suddenly being taken seriously. The real question is, are we on the verge of seeing something entirely new come to light? Share your thoughts in the comments below.